to another YouTube video. Today I will be discussing what is a powerlifter. So if you have watched my very first video, I discussed, who I am, what I do for a living, and like certain activities I do outside of, personal training and physical therapy. So the thing that I do is powerlifting. So powerlifting, people kind of get those confused with bodybuilding. So the difference between powerlifting and bodybuilding is bodybuilding, think of it as building your body, building your physique to basically fit a certain image to be judged on. Where powerlifting is a totally different thing. Think of power, so you're thinking of lifting big, okay? So it's not about your body, but at the same time it is. So not to get into so much detail, but I'll give you like a brief overview of what powerlifting is. So powerlifting consists of 3 different lifts. So you have your squat, your bench, and your deadlift. So if you see a lot on social media, you'll see SBD. That's what it stands for, squat, bench, and deadlift, okay? So basically you will train for however long you need to train for a competition. Everybody's different. Some people will do 6 weeks, some people will do 4 weeks, some people will do 10 weeks. It just depends, okay? It depends on if you have a coach or you don't have a coach, okay? So with that, you want to basically get as much weight as possible within your weight class, okay? So everybody has their own weight class and it's always in kilograms. And with that weight class, you are trying to get the most weight total out of the 3 lifts out of your weight class so you can win either, award or even cash prize, okay? So it's like something to, really be like, oh, I'm really trying to be competitive and I really want to win this money or win this medal, all right? So when it comes to the competition and everything, you will do it 3 times for each lift. So 3 times you will squat, 3 times you will bench, and 3 times you will deadlift during the competition. Now within that competition, you will weigh yourself at the beginning before the competition starts. So typically you want to eat until after you're done weighing yourself because you want to get to the weight that you want to in that weight class, whether it be, at that high end of the weight class or, the low end of your weight class, okay? Then after that, you will start, preparing, warming up those muscles, warming up those tissues to get ready to do your squat. So there are different different weight classes, like I said. So with that, it's not just only you, it's other weight classes as well. And then it's not only females, it's males as well. So sometimes the competition may take all day because it's females and males, or sometimes it'll be short because it's just females only or just males only, okay? So with that, you will have like your lowest weight class or your upper weight class. It just depends. Every competition is different, okay? But whatever they start with, they're going to start with that weight class. And they typically try to do the lowest to go up. So it's not like they're taking off so much weight, and it'll be easier to just add on the weight. So that's why they usually typically start lower and then go up for the people that lift heavier, okay? So say it's my turn to lift. I'll go up there, it's time for me to squat. We have commands, okay? So we'll lift it off, they'll tell us to lift off, they'll tell us to squat, then we come back up. We can't move until they tell us to re-rack it, all right? So commands are so important. If you ever, thinking about powerlifting, this is a great video for you because you have to listen to the commands, okay? Even with bodybuilding, they'll tell you like to do a different pose, and so you gotta listen to those commands. So after, I'm done squatting, then I'll get off the stage and then another person will get on. Now, there is a time limit when it comes to lifting, and I believe it's 1 minute. I haven't lifted since before COVID, you guys, so bear with me. But I'm pretty sure it's either 40 to a minute long that you get to get on stage, get prepared, do the actual lift, and then be done, okay? And if you're not done within that time, then you basically forfeit that round of your lift, all right? So then it'll go through everybody else, and then it'll be back to your turn. So you got to keep moving, keep, warming up those tissues and muscles until it's your time again to go. Then it'll go on and they'll switch over to bench. Same kind of thing, you'll lift off, they'll tell you to go down, and you can't move. So if you see a lot of people in the gym, they'll just like tap and go. Not when it comes to competition. When the command says to go down, you have to stay down until they tell you to go up. Then you go up, you can't move and rack it until they tell you to rack, okay? So commands here is so, so important. Then, like I said, go through it again, 2 more times, boom. Then it's the final one is deadlift. Deadlift is like the most, like I would say in the competition, the most hype, the most really competitive lift, because that's the one that everybody can lift the most out of all, you know, the 3 lifts in total. The deadlift is like the most, okay? So this is the one where everybody's hyped, everybody's pumped, everybody's ready to see some crazy numbers get lifted, all right? Deadlift, it's only one command. You lift it up and they'll tell you down. But you have to make sure that you lock out. And what I mean by lock out is bringing your shoulder blades back, okay? So a lot of people don't lock out, and so they're like this, and they need to be here, all right? So they won't tell you to bring it down until you lock out. And say you're struggling to lock out, then they'll tell you down, and then there will be 3 lights. So some competitions have 3 white lights, or some competition has 3 green lights, okay, saying you're good, or it'll have red lights and saying you're not good. And so if you get at least 2 green lights or 2 white lights, then it's a good lift. But if you get all 3, then it's a bad lift, okay? Or if you only get, 1, it's a bad lift. So that's how that works. Deadlift is, for me, my favorite lift to do. I'm always pumped and ready to go when it comes to that one. But yeah, so that's the only command for that, and then you're done. And then once they total up all the numbers, so 3, 6, 9 different, lifts total, then they'll see out of your weight class who lifted the heaviest, who was like the best player. They have different rewards for everybody. And then that's when they'll announce, who won what, okay? So that's just basically the basics of powerlifting. It's not too hard. Some people will, try to maintain weight. Some people will cut weight. Some people will gain weight. It just depends on what your goal is. But always remember, if you're cutting weight, then you're not going to lift as heavy as if you were a certain size. So say you were 200 pounds and you cut to 180. And say you were lifting for like a female, say you were lifting for squat 380. Well, now you're trying to lift that 380 and you're like, oh, this is heavy now. It's because you don't have that mass on you anymore. And so not saying that you can't lift that 380 anymore and, squat it, but you have to build back up to it since you cut so much, since you cut 20 pounds, okay? So it's all science to it. There's percentages to it. Like I could go on and on and on, but I just wanted to give you guys a brief overview of what powerlifting is. I can't give you an overview about bodybuilding. I would have to bring in like one of my cousins. He does bodybuilding, and so he could explain that, like a little brief overview of that, because I'm not educated in that spectrum because I don't do that one. But I give props to whoever does bodybuilding, because you really have to be strict to your diet and you can't literally go off of it at all during your prep. So I give you guys props. But yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this video and would like to see, more information about powerlifting, I would gladly do like a part 2 to this. Or if you just have a quick question, comment below. Make sure you like this video, of course. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. If you're new, welcome. Hit the notification bell next to the name so you don't miss out on any future videos. Bye.
No, nothing scares me.